This is the book that I chose to do my December daily in. I'm going to do reverse collage. I showed a video starting this several weeks ago and was showing where I had done some reverse collage in this. And I have finished reverse collage on all these pages. In my last live session, I split the binding because I know this book is going to grow huge. And then it's going to get even more huge because Nancy sent me this wonderful little December daily, and I am going to incorporate it in here. What I'm going to do is all of these pages that are in here, I am going to separate them. You can see that there is white space in here at the inner margin, but that's okay. I'll take care of that as I work with each page. But what I really wanted to show you was I am so fascinated every time I deconstruct one of these books. It is so interesting to see how they are bound. And look at each little piece in here, each little separate, look at those, all the way across. And glue, I've been tearing off this really thick bookbinding glue in here. These books would never come apart, let me tell you, unless they were intentionally torn apart. They are very well made. Then, as I was deconstructing it, look at this. Look at this piece of woven cloth that was glued to the spine. It was right on these, like this. And I could just, as I was working with it, I could just rip it up. I'm just so fascinated with seeing the different construction techniques of these books, and you can always tell the ones that are well made. So I'm going to finish deconstructing this book, tearing out the separate pages. You may be wondering what I'm going to use all these for. Well, different projects. They may become tags, they may become cards, they may become embellishments, they may become ATCs, I don't know. Full journal pages for sure. Okay, I've separated all the pages out of here. They're each individual pages. If you are at all curious, there are 130 individual pages, which would make 260 pages front and back. But I will not be doing 260 pages front and back, and you will see a little bit why, because of the technique that I'm going to use in this video. So I've marked some pages here that I'm going to use, and I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to use these two pages facing each other like this. I'm just going to pull them out. It doesn't matter to me. I'll put the marker back in there, but it does not matter to me that it does not get back into the same place because I've done reverse collage on all these pages. So wherever I put them back will be fine. I may mix pages as I work on them. The other page that I thought I would work on would be this page, this really pretty blue with this yellow behind it. I have done this technique once before, but I learned it from Julie Faye Van Bazer, and she does beautiful, 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 beautiful. I just admire them. What she calls lace pages, and she does them directly in her art journal there's no tearing out. Well, I'm tearing out because I'm working on my December daily and I want it to be loose leaf. But they're intricate, they're beautiful, I admire them, and I want to do more of them. So I'm going to do some lace pages, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw the design on here, and just as Dee Dee Willingham would with her reverse collage, how she drew the colors out of what was on the page off into the area that she was doing reverse collage on. What I'm going to do, at least on this page, is draw inspiration from the images on this page. So what are the images? I see teacups. Of course, I see the cookies, but I think I'm going to concentrate on the teacups, and I'm going to do something very simple because I'm just learning this technique. So what I want to do is do a lace page, which is basically a stencil-like page. I've finished darkening all the areas on this sketch that I did. I'm really happy with this. All of these geometric squares in the background I drew off of the crocheted tablecloth in here, and I just freehanded. The teacups, I drew inspiration from the teacups on this picture. The spoon, from the inspiration of the spoon right here. So I have to show you. Look at the back of this. Look at the back. Isn't that fun? Now I did snap a picture of this because this will not stay like this. And look at the page underneath, the little dots and everything on this as it went through. That'll make a fun glue book page. So I'm going to remove these sheets, put them aside. This is the page that I want to cut. So I'm going to put this right over it, right here. The next thing that I'm going to do is use some painter's tape and tape this page down to the background page and tape it to the cutting mat. And this is my inspiration page. Now I'm just going to take, this is a utility knife. I'm not using an X-Acto knife. If you have an X-Acto knife or something that is easier to use, I'm just going to cut out all the white areas on this page. Now you can see I've cut these little squares right in here. And I've cut the underneath page, which is red, too. So I'm going to continue cutting on this entire page, and when I'm finished, I'll come back and show you the result. But all those negative spaces are spaces that I have cut out. So I think you'll see it better if I take it off. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to remove the tape. So let's see what we have under here. Oh, I love it. Can you see it? Now, when I put it on a piece like this, let me zoom in. Look at this. Isn't this pretty? Now, what I want to do is find a sheet, and I was thinking that the dark or a darker blue one would look nice behind it. See how it sets it off? But then I was also thinking, let's set these out of the way. I have some of this clear iridescent wrap, and I'm going to cut off a piece that looks like this. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I want to cut off some, and I'm debating whether I want to put it on the top or in between, and I think in between might work. Let's try this. Well, oh, and then when you tip it, oh yes, that will work. And as you flip the page, it catches that light on it. When you don't flip the page, it picks up the dark color underneath. I wanted to show you where I am on this. I have this roll of look-alike score tape. It's double-sided tape. I got it at Joann's. It's called Miss Sparkle and Company double-sided tape. I do like this, but there is a caveat with this. Once you put it down, it's very hard to peel back up again. Be sure when you're placing something on your page that you have it where you want it. It holds good, and I like it because of that. What I did to place this iridescent tissue paper on my page was I put double-sided tape around all four edges, and then I put the first piece up first, like this. I'm getting ready to attach this layer. It will go on top like this so that the iridescent will show through, and then I'll trim off the edges. I'm going to finish putting tape along these edges, then I'll pull up this side and attach this first, and then attach the sides and the bottom. How fun this is. Then Miss Cindy Seinzetter has convinced me to try some Elmer's glue in one of my fine line paint applicators. But what I'm going to do is use it to get in underneath these little intricate pieces and actually glue them down with just a little bit of glue, and using the fine line paint applicator will be hopefully a little bit neater so that it won't squeeze out on this really pretty tissue paper. Okay, here's my page so far. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I took a red Faber-Castell and went over the edges of these just to kind of get rid of that little white nicks where my knife, I just used a utility knife to cut this, so I left some little white paper nicks showing, and I just went around the edges, and I don't mind that for an art journal page. I think it just adds something to the page. You see I added some red paint in here on the saucers. So, but this needs something more. I'm really happy with how the iridescent wrap is showing through the page, and then the back of it is just plain. So what I'm going to do, yes, my fine line paint applicator. This is my finished page. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. I used a technique that I learned from Julie Faye Van Bazer. She's calling it her lace pages. She does these pages directly in her art journal. I haven't got to that point quite yet. I've been playing around with it a little in my magazine idea playground. But this technique, I wanted to put this iridescent wrap. This is from Prismacrafts. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and it looks something like this. And I used my fine line paint applicator filled with Elmer's glue, but I glued down the edges of my lace page that I didn't want to pop up and get caught as the journal page was flipped back and forth. I did not glue down every piece of this page. I like the 3D dimensionality of one page layered on top of another. Isn't this fun? This is really a fun technique. You will be seeing me use this technique more in my December Daily Holiday Art Journal. I can't wait to do more pages. I'm just getting a good start. This has been a really fun page to do. I'm looking forward to the holiday season in 2017. I will see you on the next page.